The fight for women's suffrage. Starting long ago, many women joined in the women's suffrage movement where they wanted the right to vote. And regardless of sex or race, they wanted equal rights for men and women. Susan B. Anthony was one of the many women to stand up and make a change in this fight for the rights of women. She was born February 15, 1820. She was involved in the fight to end slavery as well, and she graduated from the School of Canajoharie Academy, and from there she was inspired to fight for women's rights and devoted more of her time to social issues. She thought no one would take politics seriously unless they had the right to vote. She started many petitions and campaigns on behalf of the women. After getting tired of the protesting and nothing happening, she then, in 1872, voted illegally in the president election and was then arrested. In honor of her contributions between the years of 1879 and 1881, a dollar coin was made with a portrait of her face right on it. She was the first woman to ever be on a coin and actually be a real-life person rather than a female figure, like that of the Statue of Liberty. Elizabeth Cady Stanton was another activist in the movement. She was born November 12, 1815. She brought forth the Declaration of Sentiments in 1848, which was a document of rights signed by both women and men, which demanded equal social status, legal rights for women, and of course, even voting. Together, Susan and Elizabeth were very close friends and worked on the process of the movement together. They worked on the Revolution, which was a militant weekly paper. And in 1869, the two formed the National Women's Suffrage Association, and they also were involved in the first Women's Rights Convention at Seneca Falls in 1848, which was considered a grand meeting and would get both men and women to start thinking. One of the largest protests of the time was the march down Pennsylvania Avenue, and it even passed the White House. Many of the protesters were assaulted and injured by the people who did not believe in women having the right to vote. But that did not stop these women from protesting and standing up for what they thought was right and what they believed in, what they thought was only fair, and what they wanted for themselves and every woman in the world. This picture was shown to indicate if us women bring voters into the world, then we should be able to vote as well. Women were also expected to clean and make babies and looked as if they were not capable of handling a man's role in the world. This picture says, "We are just as equal as men, and we can do anything a man can do." It says to people that women are capable of anything and that we should not be downgraded. Women can succeed, just like men can succeed. And we as women will not be treated any less than who we are. And finally, on August 18, 1920, the ratified 19th Amendment was constituted in the U.S. Constitution and granted American women the right to vote. This was a big step and a celebration after protesting for so long and fighting to get equal rights as well as to be able to vote. The active protests and steps taken to get to the ratification was a long, ongoing struggle in the movement, but in the end, it all paid off. Women were to continue to fight for their right and seen as equal to a man just as they are to each other. Even today, we still continue to stand up for the fairness of the women in society. Even through the struggles, the movement was an influential, inspiring time in teaching everyone to never take anything less, and most importantly, to never give up. Now women all around, finally, have their right to vote.